and guarapachangueo and different Afro-Cuban groove mixing. So let me explain you a little bit the three part. Okay. For example, the part A, little bit is like a little bit quiet part, you know, when the singer doing.
Yeah, he's gonna play now what normally would be the A section in a lot of the timba songs, where there's a melody and there's the first part of the song. So the most important part is that the singing. So all the percussion section is what we call abajo, down. Okay.
And ¿cuál es this? 1, 2, 1, 2. So any question?
I think before we even go to the question, I would like to say for the drummers here that it's important to understand that the drum set is like probably the latest percussion or drum incorporated to Cuban music. For centuries, Cuban music was all about tambores, all about congas, claves, maracas, bongo. And then in the around half of the 20th century, with jazz and American music being so popular all around the world, in Cuba, you know, those instruments get to Cuba. So what the first drummers start doing was applying the percussion parts into the drum set. And they use a lot of the timbale material, such as the cáscara, the clave, even patterns made by the maracas and stuff like that. They try to reproduce it on the timbales. And then they use also in the tom and snares, part of the rumba and son tradition. And every drummer have his own seal, his own way or approach it, right? There are general things like the cáscara, the clave, like using on the bass drum patterns from the comparsa bass drum and stuff like that. But every drummer does their own take. And what is really important when you're a drummer is to learn all the percussion patterns. So eventually you have a good palette of choice to how to incorporate that instead of learning a pattern. If you learn a pattern that Mauricio played, you're going to play like Mauricio. If you learn a pattern like Horacio Hernandez played, you're going to play like Horacio, etc. But if you learn the percussion parts, you end up playing your own take because you have a good foundation. It's very important, the foundation. You know? And maybe we can play maybe a little bit of the traditional things, like a little bit of charanga and a little bit of rumba by itself or stuff like that.
Yes.
All right, we're going to start actually with a rhythm that is part of the national dance in Cuba, is danzón, and it's very, very important. It's one of the first Afro-Cuban styles of and combines dance, singing, and playing. And the main percussion instrument that played danzón for many years was the timbales. There's specific patterns on the timbale that is breakdown in 3 movements: paseo, abanico, and marcha. And it didn't have any congas or bongos at the beginning. Those were added later on around 1910, that they add the montuno section to the danzón, and then the congas and other. But originally it was like güiro and timbale, right?
Yeah.
So
So basically, the rhythms has 3 different parts. The first part is called baqueteo. The second part is called paseo, and the third part is the montuno with the abanico. But let me show you the first part. It's called paseo. Baqueteo. Yes. And it's going like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, it's the pattern. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly. And the second part, 2, 3, 4. And then come back to the 8. Okay? So, the second part. Second part. Abanico. Okay, basically that's the 3 parts of the dance song, and the very important thing is the conga coming in the montuno part, because the 2 first part only the timbales and the güiro, with the similar patterns in the güiro with the baqueteo. and then change the pattern in the montuno. But I don't know if you want to talk about
Well, maybe
montuno
we
part.
can play a little bit. We can play like a little bit of a son and a little bit of a rumba.
Okay,
And we
perfect.
call some
Yes.
kind.
So I can play now different movement, like a different cáscara parent, like the very traditional and more contemporary cáscaras parent. Okay, so basically the the classic cáscara. One, two, one, two, three. Then we can do it with the clave and cáscara in the same time, and go like this. One, two, three. Some different tones cáscara.
So
We can combine the cáscara with the cáscara para on the timbale and the rich up sound in the drum set too. And that go like this. One, two, one, two, three. Okay. Thank you.
and then we can talk a couple of minutes about the rumba, which is one of the biggest foundation of all the popular music in Cuba. as many of you know, the rumba have many parts, and you have to understand that it's a whole thing too. You can never see rumba like a pattern on the conga or like a clave. Rumba is everything: the singing, the dancing, the conga, the people, the atmosphere that is created also around it. And really, it's very important to play this music that you go into that tradition. So maybe we can play a little bit of a combination of bass drum with clave and palito with a couple of parts of the standard guaguancó. And that is part of, a lot of that is used on the timba, pop music, and anything that it has Afro-Cuban elements on it. So also a lot of what Mauricio is doing, this is a lot of conversation. The rumba in general, it have some patterns that are continuous, like the palitos. Can you play like a basic cascara?
That's one of the basic patterns.
There's different ways to do it. This is one of them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ka 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 ka. Exactly. And then you have a lot of drummers, or sometimes some rumba groups even have either a cajon or a bass drum doing like comparsa bass drum styles. Like some of the beats are such as. That's what is called the bombo beat. I think there is one of the drums is always improvising on the drum. That's called the quinto drums, and a lot of that material is also used by the drummers and by everybody. And the quinto is a complicated drum to learn because there is a lot of codes and there is a lot of vocabulary. It's not like free improvisation like in some jazz or pop music where you have freedom to improvise. There is a system of codes and vocabulary that you have to go into.